SwissBorg is now the official partner of my channel, so you can buy, earn, stake, sell all in one secure mobile platform. Download using the link in the description, deposit €50 or more and you'll receive up to €100 worth of their native token CHSB. SwissBorg! Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at EOS, because that's what we do on rainy days like today. We lick our wounds, but not necessarily. It depends how you interpret this. It was not that long ago EOS made an uptrend signal. It confirmed an uptrend signal around just about a month ago, and that was based on the itchy cloud. So this is the same sort of setup, exactly the same setup that XRP's just created today or yesterday, which was a cross above the cloud and the cheeky span above price and price above the cloud, and that generated roughly around this level here, about 546 sats. We're currently trending up over just over a space of a month now. 41 days, 51, almost 52% with its Bitcoin pair. So that's not bad. That's outperformance of Bitcoin. You know, almost it's just over 50%. That's decent from that signal. Prior to that, you know, on the Patreon, we've determined that this, if anything, was going to be a buying area. You know, if you ever wanted to buy EOS without any kind of signal, which is madness. Complete madness, but if you ever wanted to have done that, that would have been the predetermined range, which wasn't too different from where the signal came in the end anyway. So about 100 sats difference, which is, you know, nothing really. Well, it's quite a lot, I suppose, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I mean, since then the trend is continuing to go up. We only cancel a trend like this out when the this cheeky span here touches a price action, or the blue crosses the red, which is your conversion baseline cross, but to the negative. And so none of that's actually happened. So as far as this trend is concerned, it's actually still up. EOS is volatile. A lot of coins can be volatile in these uptrends. EOS has always been like this. I used to be the EOS man going back in the olden days when I presented EOS to the channel for the first time. People say, "You must be bloody crazy, man. What are you doing?" It's not on here. The signal was generated on the tether pair. We'll look at that as well in a minute. I remember saying to everyone, "Look, this is the deal. Massive consolidation. You know, broken out. Look at the size of this accumulation. Zig, zag, zig, massive, huge actually, huge areas. There was some real battles going on over here, right from the bottom all the way to the top. 100% range within this accumulation, but basically accumulated around about $2.80, and then we reclaimed all those moving averages and started to move up in an uptrend. And this is confirmed on the weekly, which was the same setup that we've just seen now on the daily, but the setup was present on the weekly for the tether pair, and this gave me the all clear to get back in. So again, same setup. We had the cheeky span above price, we had the cross above the cloud, and the price above the cloud as well, and that was generated after this dump. So I said, look, despite what you might think, you know, this has been a pretty sizable dump here over the space of basically a couple of weeks, 42% down. I'm going to buy more. That's a signal there, and it did yield some decent moves, but we can't take away the fact the bitter fact that when the market decides, EOS cannot fight the market. In fact, it's extremely fragile when it comes to market volatility. I can't really think of the appropriate analogy for it, but it's just weak. This was the March dump, and that was a 76% dump over the space of basically 2 weeks, within a 2-week period. It's about 10 days. That was horrendous. That was horrendous. Luckily, we did take some profit. Our first major profit target was hit around about $13, but I mean, the rest of it kind of kept it. So although it's still technically profit riding, it doesn't feel like profit riding when you're underwater to the tune of what this would be about almost 50%, isn't it? Really, for you, if the major buy-in was about $2.80. Anyway. Let's have a look at what it's doing now. So on the tether pair, it's not quite as good as the Bitcoin pair. The signal was present on the Bitcoin pair, you see. So that's the chart to follow, and they're the gains to track. What we had here was we had a pump signal generated around this level, $1.42, and it worked, and it's moved up above the 200 exponential, but it's found rejection on it, and this is what you'd expect from it. It's bear market. You know, you're coming up to retest the mother of all resistant moving averages. 200 exponential, and yeah, we had a bit of fun above it for a day or so, and then back down in the clear resistances and rejections from it. That's what's happened again recently. And so look, with the Bitcoin pair being so structured and happy to continue as far as the signal's concerned, you'd look at the rhythm on this and be looking, all right, where should I think about buying in on this one anyway? What is the rhythm? Is there something I can hold on to? And for the 4 hourly, not really. It's just, like I say, strength to strength as far as its daily is concerned, and the 4 hourly is choppy, as we can see. The 3-day is found resistance again on the 200 simple moving average on its Bitcoin pair. There was a pump signal generated around 666. Yeah, I remember that. The mark of the EOS beast. And I've looked at the weekly. There's nothing to talk about on the weekly. So the only hope that there is on this one is that, okay, the daily trend on the Bitcoin pair is still up, and it's not told us to get out. But, you know, hand on heart, you know, gut instinct would tell us that we're struggling here with this 200 exponential as we lead into this Ethereum merge in about a week's time, which I strongly feel is going to dump the market. So you do have to think, you know, outside the box, or think outside of the chart. If you did enter this trade at these lows, any of these lows that have been marked off, then maybe taking some profit might not be the worst thing you could possibly do, because if we do capitulate on the back of this merge, which I think is a very likely scenario, we can revisit some of these coins that have done particularly well, and EOS has responded quite well from these specific lows. And so if we were to capitulate from here back down to maybe where we started from, a 43% move, that's not unlikely given the way that I think that the market could go. Then accumulation of something like EOS, although being very unpopular and maybe a terrible idea, at least coming back down to square one or thereabouts, it could be a blessing in disguise, especially if you shaved profit on the way up. I mean, the money flow index and the RSI are both, you know, they're both just showing the price action. So the losing of momentum, no bearish divergence, just loss of momentum. But if we go over to the Bitcoin pair, there is actually bearish divergence. You know, high, lower high with a higher high. So, you know, it's one of those things that makes it. It's like walking around with no trousers on, basically, in a crowded place. Not that I've done it, but you feel pretty vulnerable in a trade like this as we approach one of those significant things in the market which could drag the whole thing down. So history shows that no matter how good the trade setup is, the market dominates EOS. It dominates EOS. Look, if we just come down naturally anyway, and the ETH merge is a non-event and it doesn't have a positive nor a negative effect, then we can continue trending this move, and it is a buy the dip move while you're in one of these signals. But as we approach that day, it's the 15th, I think. Probably limit exposure to this one with an eye to get back in at a later date. Again, I'm just going back to the video, like I say, there's an uptrend signal confirmed, you know, over a month ago, and I know when it was when this happened here on the 29th of July. That's when it happened. The best time to buy anything is when you have signals for it, not just buy randomly or move into an uptrend that's already taken place. You know, if you missed out on this portion of the EOS trade, it's probably best that you don't try to get in on it. We follow signals. Let the charts tell you what to do and when, and don't FOMO. So yeah, I just leave it alone. But I like I say, I hold a fair bit of EOS. Happy to hold it. Just leave it to do its thing. It's the remnants of the original trade way back when. And yeah, I wish you all the best, EOS. But as far as this is concerned, it's a trending move as we move into a disaster area for the overall market. So, you know, let's try and think of an analogy before I go. It's like driving in a tank over the edge of a cliff. So it's probably, you know, it's a strong piece of machinery. It's a strong vehicle, but can it sustain going over a cliff? I don't know. Not sure. I'll leave that with you. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.